Hello guys, Michael Mechanical here. The next update for today with the Tata, since I pulled off all the hoses and stuff that I wanted to grab off of it, I'm actually missing one of them. Shit. I'm going to have to go find that one. I actually went to pull out the thermostat, and there is actually one in the car. It's a bit broken in the sense that this rear piece keeps falling off. That's very bad. This is an 78 degree. I'm pretty sure it's 78 degrees. I'm not sure if there's any other numbers on it to say actually degrees. It's about a 78 degree thermostat. You can read. Top number. Come on, focus on. Does it not want to focus? It's focusing on me more than it's focusing on this. But literally, you're going to have to trust me, 78 degrees. And this is how big it is. It's humongous. Anyway, I'm going to get a new one of them. New hose, new radiator cap, because better safe than sorry. Some radiator flush, coolant, and that's what I'm going to do. But I almost came to the conclusion I'm not going to spend any more money on it. I'm going to return all the parts. It's not worth it. The reason being, the one thing I didn't expect was for there to be water and oil mixed together in the radiator. So I found a bit of milk in the radiator. There is no milk in the sump so far as I can tell, but I won't know until I drain out the oil. I've been told, put a litre of diesel, petrol into the thing, let the vehicle idle, do not rev it, and do that. I was told that I shouldn't use this engine intake decarb, because this here will clean off the pistons and then I will lose power, because that's literally your seal with the carbon on the piston. And the person who is a mechanic reckons that's going to be bad. And now, I don't know what's going to happen. All I know is it's going to probably prove that there's a problem with the top end. The problem is if it's the bottom end, that's what I'm concerned with. If the bottom end is gone, the car is going straight away. But I have no idea, because the bottom end seems to be alright. I mean, 400 and 400, you don't get that on a crappy engine. 290 and 290, and they're linear. That could be rings, no denying that, but it also could be valves. And because of the oil issue that it has, it correlates to the fact that number 1 and number 2 have a valve problem. If that reaches number 3, number 4, compression goes down the motor and it loses a lot of power. I can't tell you guys what's going to happen with the Tata yet. I can't say that we're going to put a Chev in there or anything. All I know is I can't afford nothing. Project cars, I've only got 2 cars that I would certainly keep, and that's the Triton, which needs another 6 grand spent. I'd rather spend 6 grand on that than 1 grand on the Tata at this point in time. I would rather, I can't spend anything on the Fairlane. I'd rather not spend anything on the Fairlane, because I would rather get it straight off the back, brand new sort of thing. If I spend money on it now and I can't spend the rest on it to finish it, those things I spent money on are going to deteriorate. Just like the Triton. I've already spent 3 grand on the Triton. Those parts are going to deteriorate with time, and then they're not going to be good in the future. That is why I really, really want to spend money and get the Triton going really, really good again. The thing is, I don't have a job, as everyone knows. I got to spend 6 grand on the thing to get it going good. Okay, that's the problem. And to save up that money, it's going to take a very, very long time without a job. A job gives you weekly income between $800 to $1,600, depending on what type of job it is. It could be $300, $200, $300, $600. It could be anything. Because I know about people in McDonald's, they get a couple bucks a week. It's better than nothing, to be honest. And if you're getting a new start allowance, that helps when you're in Australia. I don't know what things are like in America, but I've heard there is a shit ton of jobs in America. The problem is no one wants to work in America. That's what I've heard. And I've heard a lot of stories about that stuff, and from what I've heard, there's truth to that and there's lies to that. I've seen a lot of things, and I know people work in America. I can't tell you that they don't, but here there's people who want to work but they can't get work. But there's a lot of people who don't want to work and they work, and then there's a lot of people who don't want to work and they don't work. There's people that exploit the systems that are available to us. They're very capable of working, yet they use the system to keep, do what they want to do and get paid for doing what they want to do and do things for themselves. Those are the kind of people that I don't really like very much, because the reason I don't like them is they're using the system. Essentially, think about it like this. If you're like the Prime Minister, you get picked on all the time. These people are essentially worse than the Prime Minister, because they're taking money and not giving anything in return for that money that they're getting. That's the way I can see it. And that's why they've got limits, and they go over those limits. They're only allowed to save up so much money, and then their payments get cut. How do they get around that? They give it to someone else. They give the money to someone else. Their accounts cannot be seen with more than 10 grand on. So they say, apparently, oh, Mum and Dad bought the house for me. That's the story I hear. That's what their plan is. Give the money to Mum and Dad, and then Mum and Dad will buy the house, and then Mum and Dad will say that's your house. Because once you own your own house, they can't restrict that in that sense. If your house was $220,000 and you live in that house, you own the house, it's going to be really weird. But if they say Mum and Dad gave it, okay, Mum and Dad gave it to you. I don't know how that... They're not necessarily going to investigate that stuff. I cannot afford to fix cars. It is expensive. I'm fixing this one like this. I don't care if it blows up. It will go to the scrap in the end. I will fix it to the point that it's safe to drive on the road, legal to drive on the road. I'll take what I want off in the end. I made the decision. And when she goes to the wrecking yard, she goes to the wrecking yard, and I have all these extra parts here. So whatever they get, because they're not going to give you jack crap for it. Because why would they give you anything for it? Anyway, I'm going to let you guys go. I'm going to go find that hose that I'm missing because of vacuum lines, and I'm putting new ones on to try and fix a brake booster issue, to which most likely is cracked hoses. It's not likely to be a bad booster, because my dad was complaining about that a lot. That's the only thing he really dislikes about it, apart from it being a manual. So we'll see how that goes. Fix the problem. That's going to be good. Just in case people were wondering as well, if anyone thinks that I'm a bit arrogant with what I've said, with the thing about not liking people, there are some people who literally cannot work and they get free money and then they do what they want to do. In that sense, in that case, it's one of those cases where there's a lot, you have leniency for those who actually can't work, who, are quite disabled and have the struggles to go and get work. The ones who are fully capable of working, just don't want to work, they exploit the system. Those are the kind of people I don't like, because they're not trying to do anything for the community, not trying to do anything to earn their dollars. They're just taking people who work, taking their money that the government gives them, and, free money, mate. Who would complain about free money in that sense? There is cases where it's okay. I mean, I can't complain if you win a competition. I mean, it's not like you're getting constantly given lots and lots and lots of money and you're infinitely a winner. It's like a one-off win, and it's fine, because you win across the lotto, you invest something in to hopefully get something out. You get something out of it. You could quit your day job. You could do whatever you want. You could start a business. There's a lot of things people like that can do. I can't completely complain. That's the thing I'm trying to say. So if there is anything weird about what I'm saying, okay, I apologize, because it's potentially going to come off the wrong way to a lot of people, because they don't quite understand. I'm very bad at getting the context across. The context is someone who's fully capable of working, who wouldn't want to work a day in their life, who hasn't worked a day in their life, just getting free money to live, and then what they're doing is essentially spending money on things to make them happy, but they didn't earn it. Because there's no real fulfillment in that as well. But that's up to them to make the decision. But The community needs people to work in order for every luxury to be delivered to everyone who's paying for it. For example, water and pipeline and gas. Water and gas, you need some maintenance people to maintain those. For toilets and plumbing, you need people to maintain those systems. And if something blocks up, people call up, pay money to get someone out to fix it. Okay? And then there's other luxuries like gasoline transportation, then your food, then the shops and the warehouses that we have. And then there's people who need to maintain online services, NBN, internet. And those people who refuse to work and take money for doing nothing are not maintaining those systems. They're using them, complaining about them, but they're not doing nothing to fix it. Okay? They could be doing something useful. And that's what I'm trying to say. We're all trying to do something useful. I'm trying to be useful in the sense that I'm trying to work. Learn, work, make something, and hopefully someone will be able to enjoy it. I'm trying to make these videos in a way that I'm comfortable with making them, that's lazy, but at the same time I can deliver some information that might help someone down the line. Even though I'm not really proficient or good at it, I'm trying anyway, because eventually I might get so good at it that I might be able to do it like snapping my fingers good. I've got the opportunity now that I might get an actual job with the job provider that I'm through, and that's going to be doing QA. Essentially, it's QA, quality assurance, and user experience sort of assessments. And the idea is to fix some of the software that they've spent lots of money on by telling them these are things that are wrong with it and they need to fix it. And by doing that, it's a potential job that I'll have, and it will essentially make their money they've spent on stuff worth something to someone. If I actually do my job right. If I do it wrong, if I can't get feedback to give them, if I can't generate the feedback that they need, then there's a problem. That's bad. But I already found a few things that I could say you can improve about their app. Instead of just making it a chat app, why not incorporate removing these steps over here and then bringing whatever that's on the fourth side of things over here, and then it's in like 1 or 2 steps that you can find that information, rather than in 3-4 steps or something. It's about making it easier for someone to do stuff, making it easier for them to identify things, and you know, there's a lot of stuff. Anyway, I need to get back to work. I need to get back to walking down to the store, see if they got the parts, see if I can get some parts. There's a lot of other things I've got to do as well. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Take care. See you later.